Good morning, Windwards. How are you? Good morning, all. How are you doing? Doing good so far. I'm glad to hear that. Where in the world are you located, Windwards? So, we will begin this morning's stream with some tones. Welcome from Ohio. Bit higher now. Thank you, Stezel. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day too. And now we can begin with mantras. We'll start with a passage from the book of Deuteronomy, commonly known as the Shema. Good morning, Korib. How are you doing? So nice to see you again. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Hear, Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad is one. Listen, Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh and El, Asherah, Anat, they are all one. The serpent consumes itself. We are vast, we contain multitudes, and yet we are one. So, that is probably the most commonly recited phrase in Judaism. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. And what are we to do with it? It's difficult to say. It's rather enigmatic. I think you'd agree? Long live Allah. Yes, exactly, Enzo. Allah, Yahweh, El Echad are one. So what are we to do with this fact? Well, V'chaya. Ki v'yachai Yahweh Elohecha el ha'aretz asher nizbai lavotecha. No, that's not it. Here's what we are to do with this fact. Ve'ahavta את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודייך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומייך וקשרתם לאוהות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתהם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Thank you, Shelby. I appreciate that. This comment section needs a bit of moderation, it is true. So, what does that mean? What are we to do with this statement, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Allah Echad? Thinking of converting to being Muslim, what's the history? Enzo, I would love to tell you a little bit about the history of Islam, and how it relates to Israel, the things that you said. That's a rather involved question, so it will have to be after the mantras. But I hope you stick around. If you do, let me know. Ask me the question again in about 15 minutes, and I would love to answer it. But in the meantime, before we can talk about the history of Islam, we need to talk about the history of the Abrahamic faiths, right? The origin of Yahweh, the original monotheistic God. So we have this statement, El Allah, Yahweh Echad. El Allah and Yahweh are all one. And what are we to do with it? Well, you shall love Yahweh Allah Eloheinu with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words, which I am repeating today, teach them to your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up, when you stream on TikTok, and when you are in person with friends. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Good morning, Minimal. How are you doing today? Oh my goodness, there's a cat that wants to come in. I will be right back, momentarily. Well, we can just flip the camera, I think. Yeah, flip the camera. Something like that. Turn it like this. Hey, Mama Cat. Come on. Come on in. Here you are. Meow. 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 Alright, now my cat is here. Would you like to see her? Here she is. Hey, buddy. You blew out my candle. Okay. Alright. Let's get back. Where were we? So, what does that mean? Well, monotheism is inscrutable. It's counterintuitive. The statement is that all things are one thing, right? Everything is connected. All is one. And this is a metaphysical claim. This is an assumption about the way the world works, which is not provable. It's also not disprovable. But it is comprehensible. It is understandable. And what the prayer says is that if you repeat these words enough times, and if you teach them to those who you care about, then maybe one day you will understand what they mean. Maybe one day you can take on the full weight of understanding that all things are one and that we are all connected. I don't know. Or maybe it's fruitless. Maybe they're just empty syllables. It is hard to say. But in any case, that is why I do these mantras every morning. Because I think if you repeat and remind yourself that all is one, you can live a more holistic life. That is what I think. Thank you, I Eat Kids. Thank you so much. Jesus loves you too, Ethan. And thank you, Shelby. All right. We are all connected, Alicia. Yes, indeed. That's what the prayer means. So, after that, there's another part. There's another part to this prayer. After Moses says these words, Shema Yisrael Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad, and then after he tells his people that they should repeat these words over and over and over again and teach them to their children. Good morning, Crystal. After this, Moses has something else to say. And here's what he says. V'chaya, ki v'achaya Elohecha el ha'arz asher nisbai lavotecha le'avram li'yitzchak u'Yaakov לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית, ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת, וברות הצבים אשר לא עשת, כהרים וזיתים אשר לא נתת, והלכת ושבת. הישמר לך פן תשכח את יהוה אשר תשכחה מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. And when Yahweh Allah Eloheinu brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, olive groves and vineyards that you did not plant, and you eat your fill. Take heed that you do not forget Allah, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. It's a threat. It's a threat from an abusive deity. An abusive monotheistic deity. That's what we need to remember. Sky Dad says, don't forget that I stole this land for you. I took it from someone else, and I gave it to you, and I could just as easily take it away. You live on stolen land that you do not deserve. Because Yahweh thinks in terms of deserving and of punishment. And good morning, Michael. So this is how Yahweh thinks, and he insists that we remind ourselves this fact. We live on stolen land. We are colonizers. Remember that. Remember that when you too get colonized. You were colonizers too once. Yes, Crystal. I believe that's true. I'm so happy to hear that, Salad Fingers. Salad Pictures, not Salad Fingers. You're not a meme from 2004, Salad Pictures. You're so glad you timed your lunch break to catch this. You don't know as much about Judaism as you'd like to. We are a family spiritually. Indeed we are. So there are a few other mantras to Yahweh, and you are a meme from 2004? Great. Thank you, Alicia. There are a few other mantras about Yahweh and Yahweh's pantheon, those other characters that are associated with Yahweh, that I repeat every morning. Orthodox Jewish men say the following words each morning. Baruch, Baruch, Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, shelo ashani isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. No, abusive Sky Dad did not make me a woman. Indeed. Good morning, Elmira. So nice to see you again. And then we can respond. Asherah responds. Baruch atah Asherah, anat malecha ha'olam, Asher yitzar et ha'adam bechachama uvera ve'o. I repeat the name of Asherah Anat, who made me with many openings and cavities. Thanks, Asherah. I like my openings and cavities very much. I hope for a calm worship. Yes, that's what we are here for this morning. Indeed. So, if anybody would like to be made a mod, so that you can help me deal with some of these trolls, you're more than welcome to ask. And I may or may not say yes, depending on my discretion. But I do need more mods. Thank you, Paranoid Android. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you all today. So the next prayers switch languages from Hebrew to Sanskrit. Where's the Sanskrit? Here's the Sanskrit. We're going to recite the oh, let's flip this. No, flip. Mirror. Shivananda Dhyana Sloka. Yeah? Can you read that? Shivananda Dhyana Sloka? Yes, there we go. You don't know how to deal with trolls online in person. You went through issues they had caused me before. Do you speak Hebrew, or is it sort of that I learn the words I need to pray? It's the second one, Solid Pictures. I've learned the words that I need to pray. One day I will be fluent in Hebrew. That is a goal of mine, and it's an achievable goal. But my life right now does not allow me to actually learn the language, so instead I just memorize the prayers. So this prayer is said, I learned this prayer to say before pranayama practice, and depending on how things are going, I could do a little bit of pranayama practice with you later, after breakfast. If any of you are still in the feed after I finish eating, ask me about pranayama, and I may very well do a quick pranayama lesson. You, an ex-Catholic, knowing like 6 words of Latin. Yes. I mean, I think that praying in languages that you do not understand is actually a very valuable practice, because I don't get caught up in the grammar of the words that I am saying, right? Like, I know the holistic meaning, I know the translation, I know what the words mean in a general sense, but I don't get caught up in the individual specific meaning of each article or preposition. Instead, I can just hear the sonic quality of the language, a language which is dead. Particularly in Sanskrit, there's a rhythm to it, and I appreciate not actually understanding it as I sing it, because it allows me to engage in the musical qualities of the sound, without worrying too much about meaning, or allows me to put the meaning back into the words. So, this mantra goes like this. Gajananam Buddhaganati Sevitam Kapita Jambupala Sarabakshitam Umasutam Sakabinasakarnam Mahamatim Divyamayoravahanam Ridasyasinam Surasainanatam Guham Sadanam Saranam Prapadye Yaku Hendutu Saraharadvala Yasupravasvarita Yavinavarandamadidakara Yasvita Padmasana Yabrahmachuta Sankara Pratrapi Devasata Pujita Samampatu Sarasvati Bhagavati Nihisajadyapaha Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamrutaye Nisparanjaya Santaya Shri Shivanandaya Te Namaha Shri Vishnudevanandaya Te Namaha Om Sarva Mangla Manglaye Shive Savarta Sadike Sarnye Trayambake Gari Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om I salute the 3-eyed Divine Mother Narayani, who brings auspiciousness to those who repeat her name. Triambakam yajamahe sugandim pushche vardhanam orva rukami bhavandanan kamin mrityur mukshiyam amritatom om Triambakam yajamahe sugandim pushche vardhanam orva rukami bhavandanan mrityur mukshiyam amritatom Sarvesham svastir bhavatu sarvesham shantir bhavatu sarvesham purnam bhavatu sarvesham mangalam bhavatu sarve bhavantu sukhina sarve santu niramaya sarve bhadrani pashantu ma kashid dukhabhag bhave asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityur mamritam gamaya om purnamadam purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishate om shanti 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 Om peace, peace, peace. Thank you, Kenzia. Thank you so very much. I'm glad you like my hair. There is a rainbow reflection on my hair when I sing, when I swing. Yes, it is rainbow time. The rainbows are just coming. Are there a few others? Let me see if I can find it. Ah, there. So I have prisms in my windows. And at a particular time of the morning, right now, at the height of summer, at 8:30 in the morning, rainbows come in. There will be more as we go on. It's pretty special, isn't it? I came upon a wedding that old families had contrived, with Bethlehem the bridegroom and Babylon the bride. Oh, great Babylon was trembling, and she stood there naked with me. And Bethlehem inflamed us both like the shy one at some orgy. And when we fell together, all our flesh was like a veil that I had to draw aside to see the serpent eat its tail. Oh, some women wait for Jesus, and some we wait for Cain. So I'll hang upon my altar, and I'll hoist my axe again, and I'll take the one who finds me back to where it all began, back when Jesus was the honeymoon, and Cain was just a man, and we'll read from pleasant Bibles that are bound in blood and skin, that the wilderness is gathering all her children back again. And who is the wilderness? Well, the wilderness is Asherah, the goddess who devours all, gathers her children back again. We are not to judge people for who they are and what they do. That's God's job. And he says, love all equally. Yes, very beautifully said, Winwards. Thank you. The rainbows are getting better, aren't they? So, I say prayers, mantras in a bunch of different languages. And this next one is in English and gets at the heart of what I think I mean when I'm actually saying any of these words, regardless of the language. Have a nice day, Riri. It was really lovely to spend the morning with you. So, the next one goes like this. I don't want to pray to my maker, no. I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink in golden land and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to the sun, hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. pray. And it's not much good to talk, better to walk it. Ooh, not much good to take, better to give. We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins, and I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again. So, pardon, God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. Pray. I love Allah, Allah made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, made good. And Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made, God made, God made. But I don't want to pray to my maker. I just want to be what I see. Not like in a book, or the leaves of trees that shook from a word that means only not a thing. No, no. Pardon, God and Mom. What I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. Pray. I love Allah, Allah made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, made good. And Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love. And Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made, God made, God made me. Farewell, Windwards. Thank you for being here. And thank you for muting Cracked Pepper. I really appreciate that. That's good moderation. Let me add another mod. Salad pictures. Let's see. Admin settings. Moderators. Okay. Salad pictures. Follow. Alright. Now I can make you a mod. A salad pictures. Add. Alright. You're now a mod, salad pictures. Yes, not the prayer, but the prayer. You just figured out how to do it. That's fine. It takes a while to figure it out. I'm sure you will figure it out. Y'all are gonna do great. You felt my song, thank you. Well, I'm so glad, Ivy. So, there's this thing in the development of monotheism. In the very beginning, the first monotheistic tradition, which was something similar to Judaism, the statement, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, listen Israel, Yahweh and El, Yahweh and Al, this Semitic El God, which survives in the name of Allah, Yahweh and El Echad are one, right? And that wasn't a profound metaphysical statement of all is one. That came later. First it was a statement that the God of here, the God of this city, and the God of that city to the south, they are one. It was a kind of anti-racism, if you will. A kind of syncretism. We are all part of one connected cultural fabric. And eventually, as the religion grew larger and more metaphysically sophisticated, it started to mean something different, right? That the nameless God, the God that was all, right? Which is rather profound, but can also be twisted. And in that song, that Edward Sharpe song, in a word that means only not a thing, not like in a book or the leaves of trees that shook from a word that means only not a thing. No, no. In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was one, and the one was Yahweh. And Yahweh made a tree, and the tree shook from the Word. You know, this is the story of Genesis. And what does the word mean? What does Yahweh mean? Well, it means not a thing. That's what Yahweh means. Yahweh means beyond all things. You know? Hashem, the name. And, you know, this is a God that we can worship, the nameless God. the word that means only, not a thing, right? Like, there are some very important portraits of divinity that are exactly that, not anything, right? The absence of substance is divinity. I think that's rather profound, but, it's rather one-sided. Just like Yahweh is rather one-sided. Yahweh is a man, and there are female goddesses, Asherah, that mean more than one thing, right? Asherah is all the things, in the same way that Yahweh is none of the things. So, that's a little bit of theology for you in that prayer. I hope that makes sense. So, now we will conclude. Let me light the candle again. We'll conclude with Arati. Arati is a fire ritual. Arati is a Sanskrit word for flame. This comes from the Shivananda chant book. This here is Lakshmi, and we will be saying her name shortly. There's also Ganesha. We will be saying Ganesha's name shortly too. In this tradition in the Sanskrit language, God has many names, right? And there wasn't the same movement to eliminate the names as there was in the Hebrew tradition, where all of the names of God were condensed down into one. Instead, in Hinduism, the names of God expanded into almost infinite variety, and we can repeat all of them. Did I attend university? I did attend university. I went to school in Boston, and I studied biology. Where did I get all my information? I got it from books. I read from books and from people. I learned this prayer at the Shivananda Yoga Ranch in the Catskill Mountains of New York, which is not far from where I live. Not too close, though. And, yeah. Arati means flame, and the refrain in this prayer, Jaya Jaya Arati, we wave the light of victory. Here is the light of victory. It is light. It goes like this. Jaya Jaya Arati, Vina Vinayaka, Vina Vinayaka, Sri Ganesha, Jaya Jaya Arati Subramanya, Subramanya Kartikeya, Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala, Venugopala, Venuola, Papa Vidura Navanita Chora, Jaya Jaya Arati Venkanta Ramana, Venkanta Ramana Sankatarana, Sita Rama Radhe Shama, Jaya Jaya Arati Gauri Manohara, Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara, Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara, Jaya Jaya Arati Raja Rajeshwari, Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari, Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati, Mahakali Mahashakti, Jaya Jaya Arati Anjaneya, Anjaneya Hanumanta, Jaya Jaya Arati Dattatreya, Dattatreya Trimutaya Vatara, Jaya Jaya Arati Adityaya, Adityaya Bhaskaraya, Jaya Jaya Arati Sankarachaya, Sankarachaya Bhaskaraya, Jaya Jaya Arati Sanistaraya, Sanistaraya Advaita Gurave, Jaya Jaya Arati Sadgurunata, Sadgurunata Shivananda, Jaya Jaya Arati Vishnu Devananda, Vishnu Devananda, Vishnu Devananda, Jaya Jaya Arati Ayappa Swamine, Ayappa Swamine, Dharma Shastave, Jaya Jaya Arati Agastya Munaye, Agastya Munaye, Shriyama Priyaye, Jaya Jaya Arati Jesus Gurave, Moses Gurave, Buddha Gurave, Jaya Jaya Arati Muhammad Gurave, Guru Nanak Gurave, Samastya Guru Bho Namaha, Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala. Natatra suyobati natandrakaratam Nimavidyobati kutaya magni Tomeva bantamidabandi sarvam tasya pasya samidam vivanti Om Gange kayamane kaiva govari saraswati Narmade siddhi kaveri hiya Namastitam namo namaha Twameva mata chabita twameva bandusha saka twameva vidya javinam twameva sarvam mama deva deva kayina vacha manasindriyarva buddhyatmanava prakrite sabhavad karomi adyad mangalam parasmahi Narayana hiti sarmar payami Sarvadharmam pravijaya mamikam savrinam vija Aham sva sarva papayo mokshayami masucha Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these, I dedicate to you. To all of you, thank you all so much for being here with me this morning. It truly means the world to me. Are there any days when I don't feel like doing morning prayers? Days when I want to skip it? Yes, there are some days. There are some days that I do skip. I don't stream every morning, but I stream, 5 or 6 times a morning, or 5 or 6 times a week. I will skip it if I'm particularly busy or if something important is happening. But I find it very grounding to start my day like this. And I've gotten so used to it that if I don't start my day with these mantras, then I feel off. And like sometimes I'll just run through it very quickly. It takes about 15-20 minutes. Like I'm doing this stream slowly and I'm like taking time to explain what I think about each prayer, or at least a little bit of what I think about each prayer to be more engaging, because I like having you all here. If I just run through it, then the room doesn't fill up to the same degree. But that's all right. Sometimes I'm in a rush, but I do it. I try to do it every single day, because it helps me, it reminds me who I am and what I'm here for. This final prayer I started saying when the pandemic began. It's a Kaddish. The word Kaddish means holy. It's in my name, Tiresias Kaddish. The word Kaddish means holy, and there's this scene from the book of Isaiah, when Isaiah is prophesying the Babylonian destruction of the city of Jerusalem, and there are fiery angels at the throne of Yahweh, the God, King, Warrior. And they are saying, Kadosh, 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 holy, 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 the destruction of your city is holy. And from that word we get the Mourner's Kaddish, which is a prayer that my ancestors have been saying since the time when that city was destroyed, in order to grapple with death. And I started saying the Kaddish every morning when the pandemic began, because it is customary to say Kaddish for people when they die. So now we will say Kaddish for all of those people who died yesterday of coronavirus, and for all those other lives of all sorts who suffer from the sources of death in this world. And for the last 2,500 years, my ancestors have been saying something like the following words: Yit Gadal Vit Kadash Shemei Rabbah B'Yamah Divrach Yodeh V'Yamlich Malchuteh B'Chayachon V'Yamechon V'Chayed Kol Beit Yisrael B'Galav V'Zman Kariv V'Yamru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mi'Va'arch Li'Olam Olmei Olmaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitba'ar V'Yirmam V'Yitnaseh V'Yitadar V'Yithaleh V'Yitala Shemei Dekudisha B'Richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tush B'Chata V'Nechemata D'Yamiran B'Yamah V'Yimru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mi'Va'arch Li'Olam Olmei Olmaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitba'ar V'Yirmam V'Yitnaseh V'Yitadar V'Yithaleh V'Yitala Shemei Dekudisha Yisra Berechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechimata Jamiran Bi'ama Vimru Amin Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Yachol Yisrael Vimru Amin Osei Shalom Bimrumav Huya Asei Shalom Aleinu V'Yachol Yisrael Vimru Amin. Oh, say shalom b'mamav, oh, say shalom aleinu, v'alechol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Thank you all so much for joining me here this morning to say all these words. I will see you here tomorrow to say these words once more. Okay. Farewell. So, this is my grandfather's prayer shawl. Have a good day, Salad Pictures. I'm not ending the stream. I'll be here for another half an hour yet. I'm gonna eat breakfast. But if you have to leave now, I hope that you have a really lovely day. This prayer shawl belonged to my grandfather. My mother told me this story about my grandfather in the Mourner's Kaddish, that in World War II he was working for the Soviets as a prisoner of war, digging trenches or building sheds, I don't really know. And there was an outbreak of typhus, and my grandfather got up to pee in the middle of the night, and while he was out, someone told him, do not go back into your bunk, because they're going to burn the bunk and all of the sick people inside it to prevent the outbreak from spreading. And my grandfather said, can I go in and grab my tallis? And he said, no, you cannot. So he had to get a new tallis after the war. This was one of them. But he, nonetheless, stayed up for the rest of the night, saying Kaddish for all of the people who were in his bunk, who were dying of flame and of typhus. And that's what I think about when I say Kaddish in the mornings. It's a little sad, but it's important. So, alright, I'm gonna turn off the Facebook stream